Jerry?
Hello.
Hello, Jerry. How are you?
Hey, Adnan, how's it going?
Excellent. It's very good. Nice to hear you again.
Yeah, it's nice to see you guys again.
And Mr. Randazzo is on the line also.
How you doing?
Hello, Mr. Randazzo. Nice to meet you.
All right. And so
And
we'll go ahead with the next question.
Okay, Mr. Randazzo, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay.
Sorry if I'm cutting in and out. Hopefully my internet can be better this time.
It sounds
Yes,
better,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, we hope so. It's continuing better. When we evaluate the reasons of conflict in our day, we realize that these are mostly based on ignorance. For instance, there are bigoted people who call themselves Muslims, but they are opposed to the morals of Islam actually. Those bigots have no love and compassion for women and children. They want to attack and cause bloodshed everywhere in the world. They are against all beauties and arts in such beautiful things in human life. In true understanding of Islam, there is no place for bigotry. Islam encourages research, arts, science, and progress in all fields. Based on your political research, could you also describe the negative effects of these bigoted movements and radicalism in different parts of the world?
Sure. I lived in Istanbul for a year, and a lot of what I was doing while I was in Istanbul was studying Islam and studying democracy within Islam over the history of Islam. And one of the things that you find whenever you study a religion that's several hundred years old or 1,300 years old, as Islam is that there's a lot of different strains of thought. There's different traditions, and there's different ways that you can interpret Islamic texts. And unfortunately, there are certain people that have interpreted Islamic texts as being very violent, but they're a minority. They're a small number of Muslims around the world. The problem is they're the loudest. And so what comes across is the small group of people interpreting the faith that way. What I also found is you can find in Christian histories similar things. An interpretation of Christian texts as being violent. And it simply is not the case that either faith is promoting excessive violence over the other. Excuse me. And neither faith wants there to be a global war. I think the only real way of trying to get around this is education. I try to reach out to those who misunderstand America, and for Turks to try and reach out to Americans who seem to misunderstand people in the Muslim world, to try and provide more background on some of these problematic questions, and to point out that oftentimes when there's bloodshed, religion is used as the excuse, but it's not the main cause. In Syria right now, President Assad is not waging a war against his own people and killing many Turks in the process because of his faith. He's doing so because he's a dictator. He's doing so because he wants power and is ruthlessly trying to dominate his country. And he may use religion as an excuse, but it's just only it's only an excuse. It's a cover. I think a similar thing has happened in Egypt and even places like Libya. So trying to provide education to separate out those, to sort of show on the one hand there's been the capacity to misinterpret faiths, not just Islam, not just Christianity. In India, you even have Hindus that are incredibly violent and attack Muslims, and that's not the Hindu tradition. So that's one, is to kind of point out these are misinterpretations. But then the other thing is I think to provide education to show oftentimes religion is used as an excuse for violence when really you just have a dictator, a power-hungry warlord or army that's using it as a way of rallying people to its cause, but has nothing to do with the religion itself.